Hello, I'm Gert van Manen. I was born, raised and educated in Holland. I moved to the US in 1986, and in 1988 I founded ITI Tropicals. I'd like to thank Foodnews for inviting me, and the people of Thailand for their gracious hospitality, their amazing food, and of course their coconut water. The Thai fragrant coconut water is the coconut water what Alfonso is to mango. Coconut water, is it just a fad, or is it a sustainable ingredient? It's currently in vogue, but I believe that the industry can make this a staple just like jeans is to fashion. ITI has been at it for 9 years, and I will make the case that coconut water is here to stay. I also will point out some issues that, without proper attention, could derail the coconut water long-term success. But first, the food call. Which one is it?
So just how do you score the perfect penalty? Here's Johan Cruyff and Jesper Olsen showing us how it's done. 1, 2, goal!
So, Johan Cruyff, of course, brilliant, and best ambassador and Dutch international businessman can have. I'd like to thank him for the entertainment and goodwill. But how is that connected to coconut? Well, you saw him taking a penalty, so he was thinking out the box while he was in the box. When we had the same moment was when we saw this. In May 2004, Codex declared that coconut water is a juice. Bingo. Our gears immediately started to turn. This was 2004. So why did we jump on this in 2004? Well, for starters, low calories. It was clear that the trend toward healthier foods with fewer calories was emerging. When I moved to the US in 1986, Americans were mainly consuming apple juice, orange juice, and sodas. A good cup of coffee was really hard to find. There were about 40 Starbucks then. Now there are 20,000. All of them are selling juice, and some of them already selling coconut water juice. At ITI, we're a very focused company. We focus on tropicals and exotics. We've made it our business to create a market for products for which there was no demand. As a result, we like to say that innovation is in our DNA. For example, in 1990, we bought 2 loaves of mango in the Philippines. It took us 2 years to sell them. From that experience, we learned a lot about introducing a new ingredient. Fast forward 14 years, and again in the Philippines in 2004, we bought our first load of coconut water concentrate. So we introduced coconut water concentrate 9 years ago, and I'm here to share some of what. In 1986, there were a few markets in the US that were consuming tropicals. It was basically LA, New York, Miami, Puerto Rico, and Hawaii. That was pretty much it. For me, coming from the Netherlands, that was very surprising. As a kid, we were already drinking passion, mango, and guava. So I started ITI Tropicals with the mission to stick to 6 fruits: banana, coconut, mango, papaya, guava, and passion, of course. Since then, we have expanded to almost 20 products, but our focus remains tropicals and exotics. In 1988, I figured it was only a matter of time, given the growth of the varied cultures in the US, that demand for these products would increase. All we needed to do was find reliable suppliers. We started with banana trade in Ecuador, and now 25 years later, that relationship endures. Bernard Frey of Kikanak is here in the room. Kikanak is the world's leading supplier of passion fruit with factories in Peru and Ecuador. I met Bernard when he just started out of college in 1990. Long-term relationships are the cornerstone for success, and we strongly believe that sustainability starts with loyalty. We learn from each other and we improve. Alright, back to coconut. So Codex declared in 2004 that coconut water is a juice. We saw the combination of nutrition and low calories as a perfect fit for our product line. But something else was going on around the same time. 3 startups in the US, by pure coincidence, started importing coconut water from Brazil. These 3 companies, O&E, Zico, and Vita Coco, collectively had so much buzz that the world started to pay attention. Whether it was Pepsi, Coke, or Madonna, the pioneers leading the startups combined with everybody behind them. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Rodrigo, Mark, Michael and Ira for this, as it helped us all. Coconut water is widely accepted and now new applications are being found. Mixes with coffee, tea, energy drinks and frozen novelties, coconut water is even finding its way to applications in cosmetics. This is the US. Alright, so what is coconut water? Let's start with the coconut tree. The three most common varieties are tall, dwarf and hybrid. The most common tall variety takes 5 years of growth before it yields fruit. It achieves full bearing in 10 years and growth can continue for up to 100 years. This means when demand grows, this cannot be adjusted by a quick increase of supply. A coconut takes a full year to develop from a flower into a ripe nut. During this time, the fruit of the typical coconut passes through 3 phases. Phase 1, even before the nut is ripe, when it's bright green, one may drink the water, it's sweet and it's refreshing. Phase 2, after the green stage, the nut begins to ripen. On the outside, it slowly turns yellow. And on the inside, a thin white layer of pulp begins to develop. Phase 3, the nut continues to ripen, the outside becomes harder, and the white meat thickens and hardens. On the previous slide, phase 3 shows the fully ripened coconut. This is the sustainable model for the coconut business, a fully ripened coconut. Virtually every part of the coconut palm can be used and has a significant economic value. An exception is the Thai fragrant variety, which is mainly grown for the water. There are a few other varieties that are grown solely for water in places such as Sri Lanka and the Dominican Republic. The water available from these varieties is a tiny fraction of what would be needed to sustain a market for coconut water. Today, most water comes from the fully ripened coconut. And this makes sense. The water from the fully ripened coconut is loaded with electrolytes. We see no relevant difference between coconuts that are harvested fully ripened or prematurely. Harvesting coconuts prematurely is the non-sustainable model. Besides, why put all this effort in growing coconuts for only water? That's a waste. There's a good reason why we call this tree the tree of life, or the tree of giving. First, we have the coir, which is the natural fiber extracted from the husk and used in products such as floor mats, doormats, brushes, mattresses, etc. Next, there's the brown shell, which is used for fuel or activated carbon. Then there's the white meat, which is either processed into desiccated coconut cream, or coconut oil. Finally, there is the coconut water, which is either packed in tetra for the retail market, or processed into coconut water to be shipped to export markets, and then packed in tetra. They always do. So where do coconuts grow? Basically, the area is the tropical belt. Coconuts can grow everywhere between the Tropic of Cancer in the northern hemisphere and the Tropic of Capricorn in the southern hemisphere. Optimal growing conditions are found closest to the equator. Top producers of coconuts are Philippines, Indonesia, India, Thailand, Malaysia, Sri Lanka, Brazil, Mexico and Vietnam. Today, most water goes to waste for many reasons, but we believe that the success of coconut water will drive innovation and the industry will find a way to capture this lost water. Let's talk about the benefits of coconut water. For the consumer, it's naturally low in calories and sugar. It's fat-free. It has no cholesterol. It's a good source of potassium and magnesium. And coconut helps mellow the acidic profile of other juices like cranberry, lemon, passion fruit, pomegranate, and orange. The benefits for the beverage developer are, among others, it's 100% juice. It has a very well-known nutritional profile. It blends really well with other juices. And it's easy to blend with other concentrates because it's translucent color, it's gentle flavor, and it adds minimal texture. There are also a lot of anecdotal benefits, but personally I only have tested coconut water as a cure for hangover. It's too early to tell if it works. Alright. Coconut water is being consumed fresh in countries such as India, Sri Lanka, Thailand. Packaged coconut water is being a big hit in the US, Brazil, UK, Indonesia and Australia. That's a great success, but think of the massive opportunities still out there. China, Europe, Canada, the Caribbean, to name a few. We have a long way to go, but we know for sure that the raw materials are there to support it. We just need to get to the raw material. There are many different ways coconut water is being sold. Fresh in local markets, canned primarily from Thailand, Tetra packed in Brazil, Philippines, Indonesia, Sri Lanka and Thailand. Non-pasteurized bulk to be packed HPP in the US, and then single and concentrate to be packed in bulk and shipped to the US, Europe and Australia. This variety is good for all of us. It's good for business. Sure, fresh consumption competes with coconut water availability to Tetra Pak, while product packed in Tetra competes with the availability to produce concentrate. That's all okay. The market grows, we diversify, we spread the risk for farmers, for producers, for everyone. We should have the same goal, and that is to make coconut water a success all over the world. There's plenty of room for all of us to coexist. Why coconut water concentrate? It's efficient in transport and storage, as the volume of one container of coconut water concentrate equals 18 containers of single strength. It has a cost advantage as a result. It has a pleasant mild flavor that blends well with other concentrates. The flavor of concentrate is very consistent and high quality, while NFC is often inconsistent and needs to be adjusted with flavors and added sugar as a result. It's a nutritional powerhouse. When shipped to the US, Japan and Europe, the blending packaging may be done in the country of distribution under local regulations. Summarized, coconut water concentrate is cost efficient, has an excellent nutritional profile, and in order to take this mainstream, we need consistent flavor, which coconut water concentrate delivers. Alright, is it a fad or is it a sustainable ingredient? What could derail the success of coconut water? And what can we do to address it? It's time to show some football again. You might remember the World Cup of 1974, Holland against West Germany. I sure do. Holland was the favorite. Johan Cruyff made a run to the goal in the first minute of the game. It was extraordinary. Let's take a look. After this, we'll have 15 minutes of this, sorry. There he goes.
This is Cruyff. Cruyff goes down, penalty!
This never happened in the World Cup. First minute was brilliant. So after a glorious start and scoring in the first minute, Holland lost the final. And since then received the nickname, the best team that has never won the World Cup. Coconut water is on a similar, glorious path. It's quite possible the fastest growing beverage sector in the US ever. But we don't want coconut water to go the route of the Dutch soccer team in 1974. So the question whether coconut water will be a fleeting fancy or a major player becomes more a question of what could derail this success and how can we avoid it. First, diversification. We're working toward the same goal, so whether the product is sold in Tetra, a can, HPP bottle, or packed in drums. We're growing demand for coconut water. The ultimate goal is to capture all the water that's out there. This takes investments, and these investments will only be financed if the producers show a diversified, balanced model. In addition to producers offering different packaging options, we need to open up new markets. There's plenty to do. When I travel in the Philippines, I'm often reminded of the Nata de Coco debacle. In the 90s, the export to Japan was booming, but quality issues stifled it, and it never recovered. So, ensure quality and 100% integrity in your product. If you don't use green coconuts, don't say it on your label. If you don't use young coconuts, don't say it on your label. If you add acids, sulfites, as preservatives, declare it on your label. If you add sugar, declare it. Keep it simple, keep it honest, that's all we need to be successful. There's a market for sugar added. We've heard it, yesterday in several speeches. Actually, the market for sugar added product is probably much bigger than the 100% juice market. The point is, find that market and then don't sell in other markets without declaring it. Retail consumers don't like this, nor do large corporate customers. In 2012, a well-known brand of coconut water settled a $10 million class action lawsuit over allegedly misleading nutritional claims. So let's learn from this. Testing methods improve continuously. Ask Lance Armstrong about this. On the left, you see a typical sugar profile of coconut water without any sugar added. To the right, you will see the profile that has sugar added. There's a big market for sugar added beverages worldwide, but make sure to label it correctly. Consumers who don't want sugars will be upset if they find out they're drinking something that has sugar added beverages. Regulators won't be happy either. There's a big push from retailers in the US for ethical sourcing, organic, fair trade, and while we applaud this, what's often overlooked is know who you're dealing with and test for authenticity so that you know the label equals the content. To summarize, we believe coconut water concentrate is cost effective and an equal powerhouse in nutrition. Moreover, concentrate gives the consistent flavor that we need to go mainstream. We believe the industry can deal with the risks as long as the business model is diversified, honest, quality-driven, and authenticity is guaranteed. We also believe that if we work as a team, whether you pack your product at origin in a can, Tetra Pak, HPP, or use coconut water concentrate, we can make this industry a huge success. The farmers, the producers, the marketers, the packaging companies will all benefit. The competition is not only against each other. The competition is called innovation and avoiding the dangers which could result in derailing its success. There are millions of liters of coconut water wasted every year worldwide. If we as an industry can capture this water, we not only have a sustainable business for all of us, but we will inevitably help farmers and their families generate more income. I wouldn't be surprised that this probably was the underlying reason for Codex, which is part of the Food and Agriculture Organization of the UN, to put the spotlight on coconut water in 2004. We want to win this game, and it will be beautiful, just like this miracle goal by Van Basten in 1988 when Holland finally won the Euro Cup.
Optiemelijk. 1, 2, 3. Worden. Buren. Van Basten.
Wat een goal! Wat een schitterend doelpunt!
This was a fantastic year. This is also when I started ITI. Thank you very much.